Hello, everyone. So today we're going to be doing a breakdown on the characters coming in 1.2. We're going to be using the website Honkai Lab. I like this website for information, not so much for the tips that it gives you as far as building and other team builds, tier lists even. I'm not a super big fan of the website in that regards, but information that it gives, I am a fan. We're going to be looking over Blade, KAFKA, and Luka, the characters coming in 1.2, which is going to be coming sooner rather than later, I believe in just a week. So this is pretty relevant as far as some of these characters, that's for sure. Now, they revealed these characters. We already knew they were coming, but they revealed more of their kits in the live stream that they just did just a couple of days ago. We got the kits information. We didn't get the numbers. We got the numbers now. We got a little bit more actual specific wordage on their kits. And my initial thoughts were not super positive. Blade, I was very iffy on. He was really a toss-up on if he'll be good or not. He's one of those characters that needs to lose health to deal extra damage. And, we all know, we've already heard of Arlen. He's not very good, right? Mainly because, he loses his health, he's squishy, he just dies. So we'll have to see exactly how it goes for Blade. KAFKA, I figured was going to be pretty good. She seems to be extra damage added on everywhere for your entire team. She'll probably be someone you just throw on most teams. She'll deal extra damage on the side. Very useful. Luka, I thought sucked. So we're going to take a quick look at their specific stuff. I already know a little bit what to expect because I recorded this whole video just like 20 minutes ago. I recorded it. I thought it was pretty good. But the whole time I had like a little bit of this runny nose. I've been a little sick. Went did some neti pot stuff. Came back to come edit the video. And what do you know? Forgot to record my screen. I'm an amateur, guys. I'm a loser. I suck. Yada, yada, yada. But now we get to go through all of this stuff again. Not going to be as special as far as my initial reactions, but I'll try to make the video a little more special for you guys, I guess. All right, let's go over Blade's technique first. So he immediately attacks the enemy entering combat, consuming 20% of his max HP, while dealing wind damage equal to 40% of his max HP to all enemies. If Blade's current HP is insufficient, his HP will be reduced to 1 when using this technique. Now, something we're going to see with Blade that is very interesting is what his damage scaling is. If you haven't looked at his kit ahead of time, you could be like me. When I saw what his damage is scaling off of, I was surprised. Got a little bit of hint here. All right, so his talent is technically an AoE attack, which scales these two numbers here. So when Blade's HP is lowered, he gains 1 stack of charge for 3 turns, stacking up to 5 times. The maximum stack he gains each time he receives an attack is 1. When maximum charge stack is reached, immediately uses a follow-up attack on all enemies, that's this AoE part, dealing wind damage equal a scaling percent of Blade's attack, plus a scaling percent of his max HP, while also restoring Blade's HP by 25% of his max HP. All charges are consumed after unleashing this follow-up attack. So his damage scales off of his attack and his max HP. All of his damage is going to be scaling off his attack and his max HP. I was very surprised. That makes him infinitely more interesting as a character. In fact, his max HP scalings are significantly higher than his attack percent scalings. So he is going to be an insanely interesting character, and I'm incredibly excited to use him, and I think this makes him a lot better. Because, sure, all of the HP he's lowering is percent-wise, but, even getting at low percents doesn't mean he's going to be at super low HP as I thought he was going to be. You get him to like 30% of his HP, and he's only got like 40 HP is a lot different than his like 30% HP being a lot closer to, like 900, right? It's very different on the damage he's going to take. It makes him a lot tankier and a lot better. But there's also a couple things we'll realize about his kit that make him a lot better than I thought he was going to be. All right. Single target, very normal scaling off of his attack. The blast, which is the AoE form that he will get through Hellscape here, is a blast. It will, all these are percents, consumes HP equal to percent of Blade's max HP and deals wind damage equal to the sum of a percent of his attack and percent of his max HP to a single enemy. And in addition, will deal wind damage equal to a lower percent of his attack and a lower percent of his max HP. No, the same percent of his max HP to adjacent targets. So that scales up to 42% loss. The HP loss scales, which is a good thing, actually, as we'll get later on in this kit. This is good. The actual attack scalings are pretty low, only 52%, 26%. But his max HP scaling is 65%, adding on to the damage, is a good thing. He will be dealing damage, and primarily based on his max HP, which is crazy. All right. His skill is an enhance, and it does actually not take a turn, but it consumes HP equal to 30% of Blade's max HP to enter the Hellscape state. When Hellscape is active, his skill cannot be used. His damage dealt increases by 12%. This by a scaling percent. This is good. It doesn't do it by one stat. It doesn't do his attack. It just does his damage, which will have both of these numbers involved. The sum of both of these numbers, which is good. It's good. And his basic attack, Shard Sword, is enhanced to Forest of Swords, which is the blast name, for 3 turns. If Blade's current HP is insufficient, his HP will reduce to 1. This skill does not regenerate energy. Using the skill does not end the current turn. Consumes HP to enhance basic attack. The current turn does not end after using the skill. They just say this twice. Okay, so he basically just enhances his abilities for some health. It seems like it uses a skill point. It does not really say too much. It doesn't regenerate any energy for him. This isn't the same, yeah. It does not regenerate energy for his ultimate. Yeah, so then he's able to use this, and then you can attack with his blast ability, which will be really good and make you lose even more health. However, this is where things get a little insane with him. Is his death sentence. Energy cost 130, which is on the higher end of energy costs. All the number scales except for the first and second one. Sets Blade's current HP to 50% of his max HP and deals wind damage equal to the sum of 24% of his attack, 60% of his max HP. Okay, actually, interesting thing, this first thing here. Sets Blade's current HP to 50% of his max HP. That makes me wonder something. Number one, obviously if he's above 50%, he would lose it. But if he is under 50%, does this heal him up to 50%? I would think yes. The way it's worded, I would think yes. In which case, this is crazier than I thought it was. So it can hurt you or it can heal you. Okay, this is interesting. If true, that's interesting. That's something I didn't catch the first time around. All right. And deals wind damage equal to a scaling percent sum of 24% of his attack, scaling percent of his attack and scaling percent of his max HP, and a scaling percent of the total HP he had lost in his current battle. This is a big deal. Also deals wind damage equal to the sum of a percent of his attack, scaling percent of his max HP, and scaling percent of the total HP lost in the current battle to adjacent targets. So it is a blast. It's an AoE, which with fall off damage on the side. So it'll just be less percents for the side units taking damage. After his ultimate is used, the HP he has lost in the current battle is reset and reaccumulated. This lost HP value is capped at 90% of his max HP. Of course, this scales up on all the things. 40% of his attack, 120% of max HP, and 120% of the total HP he lost in the current battle. So, this is interesting, is that they are calculating in the background how much HP Blade is losing. And they're going to be adding it percent-wise into the damage he deals with his ultimate, and then resetting how much they're counting and reaccumulating it with the lost HP values capped at 90% of his max HP. However, this is just HP loss. He doesn't need to be under a threshold. It's not his damage is not dependent on thresholds. He doesn't need to be under X amount of HP to deal an increased amount of damage, which is what I was worried about. Instead, this means that you can heal after, right? I mean, he heals off of his talent, right? Originally, I thought this was so that he could deal some damage and then heal so that he's not literally at 1 health and will get hit by the enemy and die. No. He can heal the damage that he takes. When he takes damage, he can heal it up, and the amount of damage he has taken is still accumulated in his ult, right? It's still being tracked. Healing it doesn't detract from the amount of damage he's going to be able to do with his ultimate. So you want to make him lose 90% of his max HP overall before he uses the ultimate. He could heal it. He could be at max HP when he uses his ultimate. I mean, he'll lose 50%, so maybe a little closer to 50%. But he could be well healed up and still be able to deal damage equal to that 90% of his max HP with all the other extra scaling off of it. So that means like someone like Lucha is really good for him, because when he attacks, and he's going to have really high numbers, right? He'll be able to heal off of the attack he's doing. When he falls really low, dangerously low, Lucha will safety net him, right? And Lucha's field will be able to heal him as he does damage. And he is so much better knowing that his main damage dealing is, of course, this extra HP lost in the current battle stuff. Knowing that he can take this damage, heal, he doesn't be under a threshold. He just, sacrificing damage, max HP percent. He's crazy. He's good. He's good. He's good. He's really good. He's really good. All right. Let's go over his traces. When Blade's current HP is 50% of max HP or lower, incoming healing increases by 20%, right? They want you to heal him. When Blade hits an enemy with weakness break using Force of Swords, it's his AoE basic ability. He restores HP by 5% of max HP plus 100%, by 100, not percent. That's also crazy. That's going to be a lot of healing coming in. And damage dealt by Talent's follow-up attack increases by 20%. That's just nice. Not super essential in any way, but nice. We can't see his dupes. We don't have his dupes for some reason. Well, I'll go over his information specifically again, like probably literally the day before he releases in a game, and we will definitely have that information then. His light cone, that's really good for him, increases the warrior's crit rate by 1% and their max HP by 1% as well. They didn't give us the light cone information in the stream. If they did, we probably would have been able to guess a little bit more that he has this max HP damage scaling because they give him max HP like that. It's really interesting. When the warrior is attacked or consumes their own HP, their damage increases by 1%. This is essential that it's damage increase, not attack increase, because the attack scaling is actually really low. And you want the damage because that will, obviously take an effect of the attack and the max HP percentage. But which of the effectors move after the wearer uses an attack? As for relics, this new one, Messenger Traversing Hackerspace, is a new one that's coming out in 1.2. This is made for him. When they revealed this on stream, I was wondering what this was really meant for. I thought it was like a supporting unit. I knew it was for Blade because we have this when the wearer is hit or has their HP consumed by an ally, their crit rate increases by 8% for 2 turns up to 2 stacks. It wasn't worded like this on stream. It was actually worded like if an ally does that, their crit, like the ally's crit will increase, which I assume is still how it works. But increases max HP, and when they have this stuff, I need to sneeze. All right. Anyways, obviously this is made for him. Increases max HP, increases damage. When they're hit or as their HP consumed, crit rate increases. It's great. It's good. Awesome. They're made for him. This one I disagree with. This is effect resistance and 50% or higher. All allies attack increase by 8%. I don't understand why they have this here. Don't like it. Just give them an attack percent increase one or something. Most of these planar stuff sucks, and the website that they choose sucks. Also, interesting. They have crit rate percent over HP percent. I disagree. HP percent all the way. Honestly, HP percent. Crit rate isn't bad. Just extra, right? Because he's a damage dealing unit. Having crit, you need some crit to deal extra damage. Win percent as well isn't bad. Main stats. But I agree with this crit rate, crit damage percent up. I'd say HP percent is what you want to focus on the most, and then some sort of crit and speed afterwards. Yeah, that's all we really got for him here. He's really good. Definitely the standout unit that I thought, still, even after reading these other abilities. Let's go over KAFKA. Like I said before, she seemed to just be damage added on to everyone else's damage, which is really good, and that seems to be the case, except it is at a pretty high value. So her technique immediately attacks the enemy upon entering battle. Lightning damage deals lightning damage equal to 50% of KAFKA's attack to a random enemy. In addition, all enemies have a 100% base chance to become shocked for 3 turns. Will shocked enemy receive lightning DOT equal to 50% of KAFKA's attack at the beginning of each turn. Her talent, after an ally of KAFKA's uses basic attack on an enemy, KAFKA immediately launches 1 follow-up attack and deals lightning damage equal to scaling percent for attack to that enemy, with a base chance of 100% of increasing the DOT inflicted by a scaling percentage for 2 turns. This effect can only be triggered 1 time per turn, and it can scale pretty high, 150 and 22.5%. So, pretty interesting. Like I said, extra damage, your allies attack. She adds on a little bit of extra damage in DO time and stuff. DO time, damage over time. Basic attack is completely normal scaling, nothing to write home about there. Her Caressing Moonlight, her skill is a blast, which is an AoE with fall off damage. Deals lightning damage. I don't think it actually has fall off damage, so ignore what I just said. But deals lightning damage equal to scaling percent of KAFKA's attack to a target enemy, and lightning damage equal to a scaling percent of KAFKA's attack to enemies adjacent to it. Never mind, it does fall off by quite a lot. If the target enemy is currently receiving damage over time, all damage over time is currently placed on the enemy immediately produce damage equal to a scaling percent of the original damage. Okay, so this is right. Everything they're scaling to pretty decently high numbers, but it is an AoE, just 200% to the main enemy and 75% to the enemies adjacent to it. So the fall off damage is going to be a lot. But the big thing is that you want these enemies that you're hitting to have damage over time, even the ones adjacent to it. and you will increase that damage for just a second. Right, immediately produce damage equal to 82% of the original damage. So it's just adding on all this extra damage, right? Putting damage over time so that they're taking damage over time while all your allies do regular damage. And then even like when they do regular damage, adding even more damage over time and damage extra on the enemies. And then increasing the damage over time on the enemies. So it's all about this damage over time and just making the enemies suffer, truly suffer. Not take them out right away, but make them suffer, which is which is good for the personality, I guess. All right, ultimate is Twilight Trill. I did a neti pot stuff. I still have like this runny nose. I do not know what's going on. I think I'm just a little sick. Anyways, energy cost 120, which is higher but not the highest. All these numbers scale. Deals lightning damage equal to a scaling percent of Kafka's attack to all enemies with a 100% base chance for enemies hit to become shocked and immediately take damage equal to a scaling percent of the DOT. Shock lasts for 2 turns. While shocked, enemies receive lightning DOT equal to a scaling percent of Kafka's attack at the beginning of each turn. So her ultimate will deal some damage, right? 96% at max, which isn't a super high amount of attack. But then the enemies will become shocked and immediately take damage equal to 110% of the DOT. Scaling, of course, it's at its highest level. Shock lasts for 2 turns, while shocked enemies receive lightning DOT equal to a very high percent of Kafka's attack at the beginning of each turn. So that's the big thing, right? They will be taking insane damage when their turn starts from Kafka's attack. And that's kind of the thing, is that you level us up. 15 is a little unreasonable. Like, even at, even 10, right? Even at 10, you're already at 300% of Kafka's attack at the beginning of each turn. So you're doing a lot of damage. One thing you should realize when looking through this kit, when you're thinking, is, attack percent, attack scaling. Attack scaling, attack scaling, attack scaling, attack scaling, fucking attack scaling, attack scaling, attack. Everything it takes attack scaling. You need to give her attack percent. Everything does attack scaling. This first trace here is the first thing that's given us not attack scaling. Okay. When DOTs immediately deal damage to enemies due to Kafka's skill or ultimate, their damage multiplier is proportionally increased. The increased proportion is equal to 15% of Kafka's break effect up to a max of 30%. So, break effect, secondary, for sure. Once you get this first trace in, which should be easy, you get it like level 1. Not true. Wait, this first one? No. Fast. You get it fast. Plunder, her second one, is if an enemy is defeated while shocked, Kafka additionally regenerates 5 energy. Also great. She will get energy gain like nobody's business, as long as enemies are defeated, obviously, which will be great in long fights. Thorns, third one, talent has a 20% increased base chance to increase the DOT that the enemies receive. Ultimate has a 20% increased base chance to shock enemies. Yeah, so just a little bit, not insane trace extra, but still decent, right? Just a little extra. Plus the second tier, level 75, it gives even more break effect, which is what the secondary stat, right? Attack, break effect, and then I'd say speed is third, because you should always throw speed in there somewhere, right? Let's go over her dupe system. We weren't able to do this for Blade, but we have hers. I'm not sure why we have hers and not Blade's. I don't know if that has something to do with us being able to use her in the beginning of the game. I don't know. Anyways, 1. When using ultimate, instead of immediately receiving damage from the shock state, enemies will now immediately receive damage from all currently applied damage over time sources. So this will add on any other Nihility allies that you have that are also doing damage over time as well. That's really good. This is kind of the essential one to increase the damage, but it requires specific builds. This isn't just a really good in a vacuum, right? Weakness break efficiency boosted by 50% on level 2 is pretty decent. It's actually quite good. Not too bad. 3 is the level up. 4. The duration of the increased damage over time caused by talent is extended by 1 turn. This effect is stackable 2 times. Very good. You definitely, Kafka is a character I know that's a fan favorite. A lot of people are going to be pulling for her. I'd say, if you have a lot of Jade and it's just like you really want to pull for her, if you're going for like the best account you can while being a free-to-play player, I would not pull on Kafka. You want to wait, pull for the new Quantum characters coming out in 1.3, pull for the old Quantum characters if you don't have them. Quantum, Mono Quantum is going to be crazy, I'm telling you. Preaching Mono Quantum is Mono Quantum, right? But, if you're a big Kafka fan, you're just going to be summoning her. Anyway, summoning up to 4 is really good idea. You'll see her at best. I wouldn't chase 5 and 6. They're good, but, you're already at 4. Might as well save some extra Jade, right? Money. All right, 5 is the level up. 6 is the ultimate increases the damage multiplier. The shock damage dealt to enemies by 100% and extends the duration of shock by 1 turn. This one is pretty decent. All right, sorry for what was probably a really abrupt pause. All of a sudden, I started feeling really bad, and I had to pause the recording because I had to go and throw up a little bit. So, I feel a lot better right now, but I'm definitely thinking it's going to be the last video I'm going to have to do today, which sucks because I was feeling sick yesterday, so I started making videos. So, things, really bad timing, huh? Really bad timing. Oh, well. I'll finish this up, but I guess this is the last video I'm going to record. Anyways, ultimate damage increases. Ultimate increases damage with player. Shock damage dealt to enemies by 100% and extends the duration of shock by 1/3. And this is extremely, extremely good. Right, you already have all this damage over time. Using the ultimate will increase all this stuff by 1 turn. It was really good. I assume it also works for the ones that the ultimate does as well. And obviously, it increases the damage dealt to enemies by 100%. That's a lot. And extends the duration. This is good. This is a good one. She's good. All of her dupes are solid. Getting any one of them is good. Her light cone increases damage. That's good. For every attack initiated by the wearer speed increases by a small percent. That's good. Up to 3 stacks with a 100% base chance of causing the attacked enemy to take percent additional DOT damage for 1 turn. That's pretty good. Okay. So one thing I'm looking here is that attack. Everything she has is attack scaling, extra damage. Then all her damage is based off of attack scaling. If you get her, her light cone, then she has a slight speed increase up to 3 stacks, which isn't too bad. I'd say speed is good on every character, so that's something you'd want. Having as a secondary is never bad. As far as like a primary, pretty much never, but a secondary always. Eventually, like third. I'd say it's the most consistent third option, right? Additional damage. So when I'd say what you want substats wise is, I'd say the relics I chose are correct. I would say I would use these relics as well. The 4 set of Sizzling Thunder gives you everything you need. The Space Sealing Station as well. Attack increase, speed, attack. Substats and main stats, I do not know where they're getting crit from. I would say no crit, attack percent, break effect, speed. Maybe an attack percent, speed, break effect. I would say it would be the way I would go 1,000,000%. I would say they're very wrong on everything here. However, I would say these are the correct. This is what I will be using for sure. Relic-wise. For Luka, he just sucks. He's so bad. They have placeholder art for here, which is Sushan for whatever reason. But he is Nihility Physical, which is not a bad typing. It's very unique typing. It's just he has no place anywhere. Let's go over his technique. His kit's pretty simple, so that'll be easy. Immediately attacks the enemy upon entering battle. Luka deals physical damage to 50% of his attack to a random single enemy with a 100% base chance to inflict his skill's bleed effect on the target. Then Luka gains 1 additional stack of Fighting Will. Okay? Yeah, that's good, though. You want him to get his Fighting Will. Scaling is just the last thing there. After Luka uses his basic attack or skill, he receives 1 stack of Fighting Will up to 4 stacks. When he has 2 or more stacks of Fighting Will, his basic attacks become an enhanced basic attack. When his enhanced basic attack, which is Sky Shatter Fist, hits a bleeding enemy target, the target will be immediately dealt bleed damage for 1 time equal to scaling percent of the original damage. At the start of battle, Luka will possess 1 stack of Fighting Will. So it scales up to 93.5%. So this is the percent of the original damage of the bleeding, if they're already bleeding, when he hits them with his enhanced basic attack. His basic attack has normal physical damage scaling. His skill, those numbers scale. All right, so deals physical damage equal to a scaling percent of Luka's attack to a single enemy target. In addition, there's a 100% base chance to inflict bleed on them, lasting for 3 turns. While bleeding, the enemy will take 60% of their max HP. Does that scale? No. 60% of their max HP is physical damage over time at the start of each turn. This damage will not exceed more than a scaling percentage of Luka's attack. This was really good up until this part. So you just need a focus attack on this guy. It does get to a pretty high percent of 373.75 at the highest. But 60% of the max HP, not too bad, as long as it's under the number of his skill. But that means you gotta put a lot of resources on this guy for him to be good. And this is really all where his kit will be useful. Almost. His ultimate isn't bad either. Injury costs 130, which is yet again a really high one. Receives 2 stacks of Fighting Will with a 100% base chance to increase a single enemy target's damage received, so like a negative damage reduction on an enemy by a scaling percent for 3 turns. then deals physical damage equal to a scaling percent of Luca's attack to the target. So this is probably the most useful thing it has, is allowing your allies up to 18% damage, extra damage received, and then dealing, and not a shabby amount of percent attack to the enemy, I mean. But allowing your allies to do increased damage is whatever. It takes a lot for him to get this. It's not that great. This isn't bad, but there's so much. He just doesn't do enough. He's just that. He's as far as what he does, was super eclipsed by 5 stars, where you'd expect him to be as a 4-star banner unit. But I mean, even as far as other 4-star units go, it's like he is too complex to do like nothing. It's like even compared to the 4-stars, it's like Pella outshines this guy by such an immense amount. He just has no place. Even if it's like, oh yeah, but he's a physical, physical isn't bad. It's like there's just so much better physical units. And then, what, you're just going to run a mono physical team? It's like you probably don't want to do that either. So I just see no place for him. His traces, when the skill is used, immediately dispels 1 buff from the enemy target. That isn't bad. That isn't bad. 2, for every stack of fighting will obtain, additionally generates 3 energy. That's pretty good, actually, though. I would say that this one's really good. The energy regeneration on him and KAFKA, as far as that goes, is really good. Crush Fighting Well, his last one, using enhanced basic attack. Every hit direct punch has a 50% fixed chance for Luka to use 1 additional hit. This effect does not apply to additional hits generated in this way. So you could just hit again. A 50% chance to have 1 additional hit, so just attack him again. But the additional hits won't have the chance to have an additional hit, so you can't do it forever. Interesting, but whatever. All right, let's go over his dupes. Level 1, when attacking a bleeding enemy, Luka's damage dealt increases by 15% for 2 turns. That's not that bad. I mean, you want to just break this guy. Break effect, break efficiency, whatever. Might not be a bad stat, alongside attack, of course. Everything has scale of attack. 2, the enemy is weak, I am strong. If skill hits an enemy with physical weakness, gain 1 stack of fighting will. That's good. I mean, you already want him to go against physical weakness enemies anyway, so that's just extra for what you should already be doing. 3 is the level up. 4, for every stack of fighting will obtain, increase attack by 5%, stack up to 4 times. That one's pretty good. That one could actually increase his damage by a decent amount. Shows that you want attack percent in the unit as well, so that these attacks increases go even higher. 5 is the level up, and 6, when enhanced with basic attacks, Sky Shatter Fist hits a bleeding enemy target, that every direct punch used by this enhanced basic attack will cause the target will be immediately dealt damage equal to the original bleed damage, 8% of the original. That kind of okay. That's try to gather from that what you can. Probably not that great. Who cares? Light cone. I mean, it's just a 4-star light cone. Who cares? All right. As far as they have, the break effect stuff. Yeah, I could see that being really good. Weird that they don't even have attack percent on here. You want attack percent. I'd say, honestly, break effect. I'd say going like 2-set thief and 2-set like wild wheat. The other one might be good for this. This one might be fine. Maybe attack. You could go either way. He's not very good. It's like you don't want to put stuff into this guy. He sucks. Even if he's one of the only units you have, he sucks. B tier on this site means he's like C tier on mine. That's not true. Let's look at their tier list real quick. Just wondering what they have here. If you imagine him as being on theirs, he'd be like B here. Yeah, I have her down to C on my own tier list, but yeah, he seems like he'd just be a B tier whatever character. Yeah, I don't see any place for Luka. I don't see anywhere he fits. He's outgunned by by most 4-stars as well. So it's not like he's, obviously he's not gonna be as good as 5 stars, but like even all the other 4-stars, I just don't see any place for him. He sucks. KAFKA's really good. Her extra damage that he will add on to like every team she's on will be crazy. You could throw on pretty much most teams. She'll be really, really good. I really like KAFKA. She's good. I would say still don't summon on these guys just because like you should be waiting for all the quantum characters because mono quantum's gonna be crazy. But I, just trying to, tell you, hey. Blade is way better than I thought he was going to be. He's so crazy. He is very good. He's very interesting. I'm going to be so excited to use him. I would say probably don't summon for him, though. He will probably be able to carry you in stuff. You need a competent healer though alongside him as well. I don't know if Natasha is gonna cut it. No, Natasha won't cut it. You have someone, you need another better healer if you want to max. If you're like, I'm on the blade train, I would say don't summon for him unless you have another really good healer like Locha, or you have, you got like Bayou. Um, yeah. That's all I got to say about these guys. We'll be doing some more stuff. We'll be looking at KAFKA again and Luka again closer when they release. Probably Blade right before he releases again, because we still need information on his dupes and stuff like that. So we're not done talking about these guys, and of course I'll be summoning for these guys because content. But I would recommend don't summon on these guys, but we'll see as we get closer to it. With that, I will see you all guys next time. Bye bye.